What's up, everybody? It's Chris Schwartz, your host of Fuel, and we are here today with our guest, Leen Salloum. Tony, how are you?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Good. And Tony is a community activist. He is the founder of LiveLoveMedia. He is a physicist and a published physicist at that. He was formerly the chair of the physics department at Widener University. He is also a proud father of two beautiful little girls and husband to his wife, Leen. And in his spare time, he runs a 7-person real estate team. But I kid, that's what you do for your profession. And I say all that because, wow, that is a lot. And, we very rarely have somebody come on with such a diverse introduction. So welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks.
What we do here on Fuel is, you have, like I said, a very diverse background, so many things. I don't think I've ever, used the word physicist and realtor in the same context. So you've got a pretty unique story and, interesting journey. So we just want to talk about some things that have kind of brought you to where you are in your life, because as we said, you were the chair, you were the head of the physics department at Widener, and now you're running a highly successful real estate team of 7 people. So what's your fuel, man? We want to hear your fuel story. So how did you end up here, and is there anything in your life that sticks out that kind of really drives you?
Yeah. No, thank you, Chris. If you want to get to the fuel part, that's obviously pretty deep, and it goes honestly. The fuel part, it goes way back. It's you're mentioning me as being professor and chair department, but my fuel is deeper than that. It starts really in my childhood, and really. Thank you for the introduction. The first few things you said that about me being a community advocate in a way, that is my fuel. I just who I am. I tell people, I say, I don't see life anything outside of simply something that I share with other people. So the community is really what helps me make sense out of life, and what drives me to live this life, wake up every day and just kind of push the envelope. So that really comes from my childhood. And I grew up overseas. I grew up in Lebanon, and everything we're going to talk about today, it could be me being a professor, me being a co-founder. Really, it's Leen. My wife is a co-founder of LiveLoveMedia. Me being founder of LiveLoveMedia, our team being called the Affinity team, and Affinity is because what brings us together. All of this is the end result of something that I experienced growing up, and not to
growing up in Lebanon.
In Lebanon, not to get in details, which we can, but to just say the way I think about it now. Look back at my childhood. I had, life did throw a lot of punches at me. I mean, I grew up in a civil war. Maybe some people may not want to call it civil, but let's say I grew up in the middle of a brutal war that was happening among the people of the country, and I just happened to be living right next to one of the main bases. So I've seen the ugliest side of war. But the point is, I grew up in such an ugly environment, and on top of it, I lost my dad at the age of 9. And that really put a lot of strain on our family. So just to mention those two things, between the war and not having my dad around, and with financial challenges, I look back at my childhood and I tell people, ironically, I really had a very rich childhood. Rich not financially. And when I look back, what I realize, what was beautiful about my childhood is the community. I tell people, I lost a dad. I somehow had 50 dads in the community. I grew up in a community where everybody knew everyone's business. And I don't think I would be the person I am today, who I am very proud of, very happy with who I am today, if I didn't belong to such a tight community. And today, everything I do in my life, it's me and my wife, Leen. Everything we do is based on that. Everything we do is, how can we raise our children? We have 2 young daughters. How can we raise our children to be part of a connected community where people not only like each other on social media, not only show the good things happening, but actually know the pain of each other, know the struggles, and be there for each other. This is my fuel.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
a lot of fuel.
Live Love Media came from exactly what we just talked about. Leen and I said, you know what, we live in the media area, greater media area. We belong to the greater Philadelphia area, but specifically the media area. And we want to be vibrant members of the community. We want to be members who help empower the community. So we established Live Love Media for many goals. And one of them is to bring out the good things that are happening in the community, the things that nobody wants to talk about, even challenges.
So, so the community is really what fuels you. It's
100%. It's the first and the last. Yeah.
nice. And what are you doing now with Live Love Media?
Mm-hmm.
And again, talking about the challenges of people's schedules and social media and just the society, that the evolution of society and where we are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit, I guess, what Live Love Media is doing and trying to, help bridge that gap.
Yeah. Happy to talk about Live Love Media, and what I want to say about Live Love Media applies to everything in my life. So if anyone who's listening to us today, they know this is who I am in any community. In my geographic community, in my demographic community, through church, this is who we are. This, as a family, this is who I am as a person. So I'll tell you how the Live Love Media was born, which explains what we're doing today and what we're trying to do. So I've been part of Rotary Club and other local volunteering groups, and I realized that groups like the Rotary and many others, local to media or any area, anywhere you live in Phoenixville, you live in Philly, anywhere you live, there are local groups that truly are making the difference in everyone's life and in the community. They may not affecting your life directly, but the fact that they're empowering the community, they are affecting your life. And your community is beautiful, your community is strong because of those groups. Unfortunately, talking about those nonprofits is not a topic of interest to social media. It's not sexy, it's not controversial. What really gains traction naturally, and I'm not blaming anyone, I blame myself, I'm also drawn to controversy. What gains traction naturally is controversy. So what I started to realize, hold on. The clubs these groups I belong to and the other groups I know about, they're doing so many great things nobody knows about. Live Love Media's mission is to put the word out for the groups, the organizations, the nonprofits, and the topics that people don't want to talk about. We recently interviewed someone local who's a mental health advocate. They have their own personal bipolar, struggles, and they have fantastic local groups to support others who, suffer through mental health and other issues. That's stuff to push on the local social media pages. We interviewed the person, we pushed we published their video, we pushed it. I'm very proud to say we had 4,000 views, over 4,000 views of this video.
Nice.
And we had many people click on the links of those groups. Here's the thing, Chris. Out of that, if one person who needs help, who struggles with mental health, reach out to those groups and ends up getting help and becomes healthier and probably not end up risking their life,
You've done your job.
I'm beyond done my job. I'm this is the life I want to live.
want
Like this is
fulfilled.
the stronger community we want. So this is Live Love Media. This is who we are everywhere, not only locally in the media area, but in the greater Philadelphia area and within our even demographic communities, as I said, through our church, is to really empower and help the things that make a difference, truly make a difference, not the shiny things that get traction simply because they're controversial. Yeah.
Nice. And, as you said, in all areas of your life, you kind of have that common thread. And, with that, you do have a full-time, very demanding career as a real estate agent. And, the name of your team is
Affinity.
Affinity. And
Affinity Real Estate Team. Mm-hmm.
So it's really, it's really great how you truly connect everything that you do. It's not just, okay, well, here's my business over here, and we're going to come up with this, cool name that, flashy, sexy name. It's really like who you are and who the people on your team are.
Anyone who wants to be part of our team has to be community oriented. They will not do well, they will not enjoy, they will not survive, they will not grow on our team if they're not community oriented. You have to be somebody who's all about their friends and family and their community. This is who we are. Again, I genuinely want to repeat, I'm not saying this is the right way, everything else is not. This is our way.
Sure.
This is what works for me.
What works for you?
This is what works for me and Leen, my wife. This is what works for our team. And when we say our team is one family, it's not bluffing. It is true. I wake up thinking of how can I empower our team members every day, and how can our team truly be solution driven, solve problems for our friends and family in real estate, through real estate. So we serve as a team, we serve our friends and family through real estate, we serve our community through real estate. Love Media is powered by our real estate business. So this is why it's part of our website. Love Media, I'm going to be straight honest, requires a lot of resources.
It gets into those nonprofit things.
No, it's not. It requires a lot of resources, and our real estate business funds, supports Love Media, and same applies for everyone on our team. If you're not community oriented, if you're not all about your friends and family and how can you help them do better in their life through real estate, then we're not a right match. So that's who we are.
Nice.
I'm very lucky that my life, my family, my community, my business, my career, everything is one. It's all one unit.
How do you connect all that with quantum and being a physicist?
Yeah, it's all connected. I came here to the Philadelphia area for my PhD in physics. I went to Drexel, got my PhD from Drexel, became professor at Widener, tenured, became the chair of the department at Widener, and my field of research was quantum optics. So quantum is at the heart of my research, and as you said, I'm nationally published in the field. And when I taught quantum, to answer your question, I always added a life twist to it. So when I taught quantum in the classroom, I always used those counterintuitive concepts to explain life. And I'm happy to say right now, and honestly, I've been developing a series of talks. I've given a lot of talks at universities, schools, local groups. I call them quantum food for thought. It's not live anywhere, so if you look it up online, you're not going to find anything. But quantum food for thought, where I take quantum concepts and apply to everyday life. And there are some concepts. Some of them, for example, Chris, interference, uncertainties, those things in quantum that honestly I think of every day in my life. You and I have met, interacted, and for somehow our interaction has been constructive. And this is how it is on our team. On our team, we have a slogan, we call it, which is a quantum slogan. It's 1 + 1 = 4. Because quantum teaches us that if two units are perfectly coherent, the outcome is quadruple. Like one unit and another unit, the outcome is not 2, the outcome is 4, if they are well coherent. Unfortunately, if they are opposite in terms of coherence, then 1 + 1 is 0. So on our team, in my life, I try my best to keep it 1 + 1 = 4.
I love it. Nice. All right. Well, Tony, thanks so much for, for sharing all that. If people want to connect with you, if they want to find out more about Live Love Media, about your real estate team, anything that you're doing, how do we find you? Where do we connect?
Yeah, the affinityteam.com is our website, or livelovemedia.com, and they'll find us there. And it's happy to connect. Just keep in mind that the more connections I have with people, the happier I am. So bring them on. Let's be better connected and be prepared, because I want to share my pain, share my struggles, my happy moments, and all of it, and hear yours as well. That's how I want to live.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it. Reach out to him and connect. So on that note, I just want to thank you for listening to the show today. If you got something out of this, do me a favor. Go ahead and give us a 5-star rating there on iTunes. Share it with your friends and family. And we're out.
Welcome to the Fuel Podcast, where we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives.
The Fuel Podcast is sponsored by the Christopher Schwartz team at First Choice Mortgage Advisors. NMLS ID 106583. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your mortgage, make the Christopher Schwartz team at First Choice Mortgage your first choice.